Well, welcome to this talk. Just if you note a few words about me, I am Olivier Picciotto. I am Italian, to be very precise. So I live in France. I live in Paris, but I come from Italy. And I'm going to speak to you about low-code and no-code. Why? Because Convertigo, this is the name of my company, is one of the low-code platforms that we are around the world today, because we use this platform in France and in many countries in Europe and USA. Okay, that's one of the countries where we use the platform. The goal of this is not to tell about Convertigo, but is to tell about low-code and no-code, to make you understand exactly what is behind this and how it does work. Okay. So low-code for mobile applications, because this is mobile in mobilis, okay? And we speak about without compromise. This is really important, okay? So just think about low-coding does not mean you have compromise to do. That's what I just want to explain about this today. So first question, who knows about low-code today? So do you know what is low-code today? Who knows it? So just make it, ready? Okay, I know you are knowing. Are you using platforms already today? Who's using platforms today? I know Vanessa is using one, Flutterflow. Okay, that's one. Are you using some other platforms? Okay, no. So you are developers, right? You write code. That's right. A lot of codes. What do you write as code? So you write Java, C++, Dart. What do you write? Dart. Okay. So you're more Flutter type of developers. Okay, good, perfect. Okay. People don't know about low codes. They just don't know about this. They heard about it, but they just don't know about it exactly first. First thing they know is it's just a passing trend. They think this is just, okay, we're going to say, oh, this is just like this. And in 3 years, we don't speak about this anymore, okay? Well, that's not true. We are in the low-code business since more than now 10 years. We started this 10 years ago, and it's rising every day, more and more. And this is why, because there's many benefits behind, of course, and as the time passes, there is less and less drawbacks. So that's why it's getting more attention today. So this is a misconception, okay? So think about low-code to be one of the most important thing that will happen in the application development in the next few years. Just to tell you, probably you know this guy is Gartner. Okay, they're making predictions and they say blah blah blah, a lot of things. They make always mistakes. It's always wrong what they say, always. But it will not be 70%. It will be probably 65 or probably 50. But this is enormous, okay? Or maybe 75, okay? So that cannot be exactly precise, but I can tell you that usually when they say something, it's just predictions that not exactly the same, but they can, of course, do this thing there. Okay, so I have a question. Is low-code targeting developers? What do you think about that? Let's make a type of, you think yes? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Good move. Okay. Why is low-code targeting developers? This is not no-code, okay? It's low-code. So low-code, you have to code. There's still some programming to do, okay? That's something important. And many platforms just make you understand how this works. So you have to know technical stuff. You know how to organize data in tables. You have to know what's a link. You have to know what's a JSON or something like that. It's still technical. It's still something you have to learn. But it's just something that the platform will make you work much faster and save time. Saving time means saving money. Okay, that's important. Okay, good. So many people think this. They think it's just not for developers. It is for developers. I will show you a screenshot of a low-code studio, and then you will understand that when you see this, well, your grandma cannot use it. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, that's a low-code studio. Okay, so as you see on the right here, you have code. Okay, so this is a photo of the Convertigo studio, just to explain you how it works. And well, also something you can see here, you can see the Git staging here. So everything you know about standard development, that works also with the low-code studio, okay? Just goes that many things are done much faster because you just write less code, okay? So this is an idea about the low-code studio. Now, another question is about minimizing skills. As a developer, you have skills. You are trained, you went to school, you learn about programming, you learn many languages, you are experts in Dart, experts in Java, experts in Kotlin or other languages. And I say, if a platform does the work at my place, who is going to pay me for that? This is a big question. Will my skills will be minimized, yes or no? So who thinks this, yes or no? Yes, you think that it will be minimized, okay? Dubitatif. Pas convaincu. Pas tout à fait convaincu. That's a quite big question. First thing you have to know is low code, you still code. So there's still code to do, okay? So nobody's going to do this at your place, still. But this is not the problem. What is the value of an engineer today? The value of an engineer is to translate user business, to translate a requirement. You know, who's paying for the applications? Who is paying for that? Customers, right? Enterprise to make some business, okay? So they're paying it for it. So your work is to translate this to an application that works, it's fully functional, tested, and give some value behind, okay? So this is not something that anybody can do. You can do it. But if you help with a platform to do it faster and better, then you still get your skills. Let's take an example. You see here, there's a nice field. Okay, so yeah, that's not very nice, but it's probably can grow crops or something like that. I don't know here. So to do this, you can use a machine. So you can have a horse and pull the horse with the chariot. Comment on dit chariot? Well, something to do this, to pull the earth out. So you will take about 1 week to do this field using a horse with this type of machine here. Instead of using this, you can use a super machine that we have today with a GPS-controlled machine there, where you just make all the path with the GPS. This is complete computerized. You sit in your seat here, and you just control the machine. By your opinion, who is going to be paid more, the guy with the horse or the guy with the GPS machine? The guy with the GPS machine. The more sophisticated tool you use, the better value you get using this sophisticated tool, okay? This is something important. This has always happened in many, many things. If you are a Caterpillar driver, you get more pay than if you just have a shovel to take the earth out, okay? And this is exactly the same for the code development. So if you can master sophisticated tools and powerful tools, then you get more value for what you do. So you get more money for the time. And then, in French, we can say, vos TJM augmentent, tout simplement, okay? That is very important to understand that. Am I right? What do you think, Vanessa? You agree with that? Hein? Tu es d'accord avec ça? Ouais? Yeah. So we experience that low-code developers can get 30% to 40% more value for time than standard developer, Java developers, okay? This is global. Of course, if you are a very, very specific assembler developer working for drivers very near the machine, and you are very specific doing this, then of course you can get high value for money for your time, of course. But this type of business is not so well used. So people, there's more digital to do than drivers to do on machines today. So on the market, really getting some low code is better today. That's what we're doing. Low code, not no code. No code is that you don't do any job at all. Just drag and drop, that works. But you don't have full control on your application. Okay, that's one thing we just make the change. So low code means not no coding at all. That's not true. That's a misconception. Okay. Again, let's see about this screenshot. Here you have some code here. Just to let you know, this is TypeScript. If you, for example, if you want to work with the convertible platform, then this is TypeScript you have to write here. Okay, sometimes. Of course, You don't have to write TypeScript, but if you want to do it, you can. That's usually the way it works. In an application, about, let's say, 15 to 10% of the application is some code you have to write sometimes, if you want to do some very specific tasks. This is something that it is important there. Okay, so another question is about performance, about the application quality, and about everything you do for your application. People say, if I'm going low code, then my application will not have good performances. We'll see that's sluggish, it doesn't perform well, the screens will not flow from one another very, very quickly and everything. Do you think this? First question, who thinks that? You think that, okay. Because you are native developer. No, you're not, you are Flutter developer. Is Flutter native? No. Okay, that's a question. So that means that already you are fighting with people that say, hey, you should write Swift code for iOS. Why don't you write Swift code? That's better. Swift, near the machine, directly. Okay, why you don't write C++? It's even better. Oh, sorry, why don't you write assembler? Even better. Why don't you do that? Because it's not efficient. You lose time doing this, okay? So, and the benefit of doing it is not so good. So you just will lose time, make more work, make it expensive for nothing, okay? This is the problem there. So Flutter is already something that is a compromise, okay? But it's a good compromise, people can understand. So we have products like Flutter Flow. Well, this is a low code using Flutter technology. Is Flutter Flow performing less than Flutter, Vanessa? Yeah, let's say plugins, for example. Yeah, okay, perfect, yeah. Okay, source for use case. Globally, performance is not an issue. So it depends on the technology used. So one is, for example, Flutterflow. It's one of the technologies that you know very well. Okay, there's other technologies for doing this. So you know probably about the hybrid technology. So this is based on web technologies running in hybrid. So that means a HTML5 CSS rendering engine running in a native application. Okay, so this is technology we use there. Since more than, let's say, 10 years now, there's continuous improvement in this type of technologies. The hardware acceleration of the WebKit engines, essentially, that we can find in Android and iOS. Optimization of the V8 JavaScript engine for Google, for the Android, and the acceleration of the GS engine for Apple makes that your applications, just written in type of hybrid technology, will perform as well as native application for everything about screen, okay? For example, CSS, transitions, animations, and everything. So we can match the 60 FPS type of things that many applications require for animations there, okay? Okay, well, this is not magic. It is just that the rendering engine did the work, okay? There's tons and tons of developers working on the WebKit rendering engine, going directly to the graphic card for making OpenGL or whatsoever, and make this there, okay? So this is why performance is not an issue. By the way, it's not an issue to most of 90% of the applications. Okay, you can find 10% of the application where this will be an issue. But even though Flutter would be an issue too, okay? Okay, this is what we say, okay? So this is something we just say like this, and we can prove it, okay? So, so I want to prove it with a demo. The problem about the demo is that the demo is on my phone here, and I have to copy my screen, direct screen, to a screen mirror on there. So if I'm doing this, you will see lagging from the Wi-Fi. So you'll say, hey, this is lagging there. Well, even though, let's try to do it. Okay, so Yeah, it's still working there. Okay, so this is one of application that one of our customers. Probably you will see who is this customer there. Yeah, you know this guys. Okay, so well, they have 2,500 stores all over France. Okay, in each store you have about 10 to 5 sales guys using this app. Okay, and this app is an application to make everything to be the sale to be. Okay, so we're just connecting. So when we connect here, that's there, and this is the application we have behind. Okay, so everything you can see. So let's say, okay, okay, so everything like tablet tactile. Okay, so this is everything about this. Okay, so this is totally done using some low-code technology. Okay, no, completely done with low-code technology there. So it's just not displaying things. So it's also to see what's having behind and see, for example, everything about stocks here. So where this is getting data from many backend systems, collecting data, making many things there, okay? And see that we have all this, you see. I know that's 33 of these products that I can find somewhere in Puto, okay? And this is real time. And completely done with this type of technology. With okay, so again, no lagging, everything you see directly, going directly there. So as you know, it's not only just making the browsing that you can add to the basket and make all the payment using NFC, using scanning, using everything. Then you can even print the tickets for the guy directly from the smartphone. Okay, here. So as you imagine, this is not something you can do with a very standard type of local platform. You need what we call a professional local platform that helps to doing everything behind. Not only the front end, but all the backend part too. Okay, this is really important, and this is done with a type of local platform. Just to let you know, this application has been. The first version of this application was a standard Android application. It was written in Kotlin at the beginning, okay? It took about 2 years development with a team of 5 persons to do this application. Okay, big application, more than something like 90 screens, okay, 90 page, big application. So you imagine the complexity of their very strong business rules and everything behind. Now imagine the customer, Darty, said, now this is too expensive. We cannot pay this amount for maintenance there. Let's rebuild this application using a low-code platform. While the same application was able to be rewritten in just 9 months with 1 developer. Okay? This is making the acceleration. That shows you how fast you can go and do this. But there was still work to do because interface the Bluetooth printer. Do you think it's just 3v3? No, you have to write code to do this. Okay, interface to NFC. Well, of course, this is also some code to do. Okay, and this is where you could get some benefits from the platform. That means everything that's easy goes quickly, so 80%. Then you can concentrate on the 20% that needs your expertise, that needs your coding, that use your stuff. Okay, and this is the goal of this type of application. Any question there? Make sense? Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. In the convertible platform, it is possible. Yeah. Yes, it is. What is the generated code? That's the question. Yeah. No. No, it's possible. I can show it. You want to see it now? Okay. Okay. Okay, I will show you. Here is an example of the client code generated. In Convertigo, there is client code and server code, okay? The client code is Angular code, standard Angular code, okay? So here is your code, just like this, page.ds. This is the code generated. Yeah. This is what you see here. Yeah. TypeScript. Okay, standard TypeScript. Nothing magic, okay, behind. Something you have to know is that although the code is standard code like this, you never maintain this code yourself. You use the platform to maintain it, and this is one of the key important things we're going to get on another screen later on, okay? But even though you can understand the code, and sometimes it's very interesting to see it, to debug. Sometimes you would like to debug it, okay? You want to understand. So it's important that it is visibility, that you can understand it, okay? But there's nothing very magic here. So you have a constructor, all this is automatically generated by the client part of the platform. On Convertigo platform, there's not only the client part, there's also all the backend part, okay? Everything to build the database, and to build the services, and to build the business logic on the backend side, okay? So again, this part is not generated code. This is, we're going to speak about this later on. It's what we call an execution engine doing the work behind, okay? Okay. Yes? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But we can add all the enormous components of all the JavaScript, Angular, Vanilla.js ecosystem. Thousands and thousands and thousands of components you can add, okay? So this is only thing. So when you use a local platform, don't use a platform that is stuck. Use a platform that you can extend, okay? This is really important to understand. So Flutterflow can do this, of course, and of course Convertigo can do this too, okay? We have what we call shared components. This is how we call this. That is components you can do in a project, and then you can reuse the same components within other projects of your platform, and even push them on the marketplace, so people can reuse them from outside of your company, okay? And of course, we have, I think, more than 120 stock components inside, but of course, we can extend this to many things there behind, okay? So this is important. Okay, so we have this is into the, okay, so local results in lower quality applications. That's not true. Definitely, that's not true. You can have what we call pixel perfect applications, very strong business logic application, high performance applications, even with low code. This is, I can tell you, and we can prove it with real use cases and real stuff running. Okay, so this is the demo I wanted to show. So the Darty demo, here it is. So just to let you know, here because making live demos is sometimes a bit tricky about Wi-Fi and everything, so I would like to show you a type of video of how the studio works. So here it is, one of the, you see this Darty application here? I'll just show you the, so just a little video of how it works, okay? So I'm dragging up a H1, I put it in my screen here. So here, the H1 did heading 1, that appeared on the top. I'm just changing this, hello. So I have hello now on the top. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to change the typography. Okay, I'm going to Tahoma. Okay, you can change the size. Then I think let's go to the image there. We're going to change the decoration. We're making round. Okay, like this. We're going to change the I think we put a shadow, border shadow. Okay, so again. Okay, so well, this you do it with low code with no coding, right? But everything is done behind is standard code that has been generated, and then you have all the CSS behind everything. Okay, I can show you, as I told you, behind everything is behind this. Okay, so you can move stuff and everything. Okay. So just to let you know, that's an idea of how the low-code studio works, okay? Another thing that you can see here is that all your projects is on the back here, and you can, of course, see that behind all the controls, you will be able to write your own JavaScript code that will perform some complex taxes, okay? For example, if you want to make some sinus or cosinus or whatsoever, then you're going to write math.sinus or something like that, okay? And you're going to use a very standard language. Dart is a standard language, but is this so standard? Who knows what are the most known languages on the planet today? Who is using the most well-known language? As you say, so Java, JavaScript, Python, Dart. Who's number one? Python, let's say. Probably Python is one of the most rising one. Second one should be JavaScript today. You know, JavaScript, is one of the. That's the second one. Yeah. Dart is a good language, but it's not as well known. There's less Dart developers than JavaScript developers on the planet today. Just to let you know. Any questions about this part? Yeah.
Do you manage style variables?
Yes. Yes. Of course. Yes. Of course. Yes. Everything. Global styles that you can push in global application. SCSS, if you want to know. Yeah. This is completely managed as CSS. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you look, it looks like VS Code, right? It's type of VS Code, that's right. It's not VS Code at all. It's not VS Code at all. This is based on another technology that is, it's coming from prior VS Code. It's based on something we call Eclipse. Who knows about Eclipse? Yeah, okay, this is based on Eclipse, okay? So, the idea is Eclipse, but you don't see anything about Eclipse there. There's no Java code, anything there. Just what we use from Eclipse is the layout system. Okay, that's just how to arrange windows and everything. This is coming from Eclipse. Okay, but there's nothing about Eclipse in the in programming whatsoever. Okay, but this is so. As you know, Eclipse is like VS Code. You can write plugins. Okay, so Convertigo Studio is just one of the many Eclipse plugins you can find on the planet today. So this is for our low-code studio, desktop-based. It's running on Windows, of course, Mac OS, of course, and it's running also on Linux, if you want to use it on Linux, okay? And then we have also a web-based studio that is also done. The web-based studio is a little less powerful, unfortunately, okay? Because we're still doing some work about the web studio, okay, today. But the best power comes from the desktop studio. Good thing about desktop studio is that you can write and still work even with no connections. You can work in the train with no thing. You can do everything. You don't need to have a internet connection to work. Okay, this is really important sometimes. Offline. Any questions there? No, it's okay. So, what type of application can we do with type of low-code? People can think low-code is just for doing some business applications internal, something like, okay, I want to make a CRM, or I want to make a type of stock management, or this application Darty I showed you. This is internal application, it's not B2C, it's not consumer-facing, right? Okay. So just to show you, this is another demo we have of a application done for a startup. So let me see if this one works. Yeah. So this, So this application is an application done for all the kids that have better to do than play on TikTok and just read, something that could be quite interesting for our kids today. And this application is built by a startup that is now sold in many schools and everything, so people want to do this. It has been approved by the Ministry of Education Nationale, just before Attal went prime minister. That's a big problem, and now the project stopped because he stopped to be. Attal was just reading this project at the beginning, and then he had some other things to do. Now he'll probably have some even other things to do in the next weeks. I don't know, but this is the project resulting from all this thing. Okay, so any book you can find on the planet, so that's why it's called Book Planet. So you can scan the ESBN behind, okay, and then you have everything about information about this, okay. So I like a lot comics. Yoko Tsuno. I like Yoko Tsuno. Tsuno, okay. Who knows Yoko Tsuno? No, you don't know. Okay. Okay. Well, something has to go wrong in demos. Okay, I don't know. Okay, here it's coming, yeah. So this is everything you have to know on application. So who built the application? Who built the book? Who is the what we speak about this book and everything. So again, this application is a B2C application that you can find and completely built with a low-code platform, and it's intended to be used by millions of students in France. Okay, millions. Okay, and so there's no drawback for power or whatsoever in the application. You can do even some B2C applications with low code. Okay. Okay, so this is one of the other demos. Any questions about this application there? Sorry? Menu bar, which one? Ah, this is, okay, I don't have it here, so it's probably it is the, how called the mirroring, screen mirroring doing this. Do we have it too? No, no, we don't have, no, I don't know. Okay, so it's okay for doing B2E application, internal applications, and it's okay for doing external applications too, okay? People think low code is only for doing some internal applications, so that's not true. You can do even be there. In the Flutterflow paradigm, it's more B2C type of application. Am I correct, Vanessa? More type of customer facing usually. It's for both. Okay, for both. Okay, yeah, we can say for both. Okay. Okay, good. Other thing about low code is restricted. That means you cannot. Yeah, sorry. Il y a une question. D'accord. You want to communicate with external systems, so use APIs, use connectors, go to something outside of the platform, whatsoever. So again, many platforms do have connectors. Just to let you know, some platforms like Flutterflow does have connectors. We have two, okay? For example, we have more than 300 connectors in Convertigo platform. Can go to all these things, so Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, Google Workspace, anything. We have Kafka, SAML2, many 300 type of connectors we can go and think. So anything you say, my application has to be integrated in a very large ecosystem, then you can do it with low code. And the platform will give you the connectors. So instead of coding these connectors, instead of making all the job for doing this, then the platform will give it this to you. For example, you have to connect to SAP. Well, this is a challenge, I can tell you. SAP is not, not so easy. You probably know a customer here in the Région de Nantes. It's called the Chantiers de l'Atlantique. You know these guys. So they have a very, very strong SAP system. You have to know that many of their digital applications is done with Convertigo, just connecting to SAP behind, okay? So this is something very important. Of course, if you use some other platforms, you can find connectors too, but usually it will not be built in. You have to make some custom development to do that. Some platforms like Convertigo has this built in the platform automatically. This is really important. Okay, so usually when you do applications, where do you connect? APIs, usually? What do you do? Yeah? Why do you connect to APIs? To get data. Right? Why? Because who built the backend? Where is the backend built? Did you build the backend, or it was already built and you have to access APIs? Question. No, quelqu'un? Both. Both, yeah. So you have to know that, of course, if you have to access backends that already have APIs, then you will be glad to import all the connectivity directly into the project. Okay, so let's see here. You will have to just You see my project here? I will just import a REST web service reference. Everybody knows about Swagger. Okay, so I have my Swagger reference here. So I just say OK, and boom, one click, and all the connectivity to my backend application is just done. Yeah, like this. Okay, here. As you see, I have my connectors just already with all my verbs and everything from my API that has been imported. And even better, all my services, that means what we call the services, are now automatically exposed to the outside world when the API is done directly. One click. Okay? So this makes you save time. Lot of time. Lot of time. Okay? So, for example, connecting to API is very important. Plugins. This is a very important part of the low-code ecosystem. If you don't have plugins, you will restrict your platform to what only the platform can do. We spoke about this half an hour ago. So many plugins can be found. As I told you, for example, on Flutterflow, you can have a marketplace. How many plugins there? Many, I think so. Templates, yeah. Yeah. All over packages. But they have to be Dart packages, or there can be some type of other package. I don't know. They have to be Dart packages, or they have to be Dart. Okay, 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 good. Okay, so if you use Convertical platform, that will be quite the same. The only thing difference is that the packages can be anything as what you find as JavaScript, okay? Exactly like Dart, but it will be JavaScript, okay? So any components you can find, vanilla JS components can be a JavaScript integrated component into Convertical. Even better, if you have an Angular component that is already an Angular component, it can go even easier. But you don't need an Angular component. You just need a JavaScript component. This will be okay. But this is everything for type of, let's say, user interface component and everything. But there is what we call native plugins too. Things that goes, for example, to control a Bluetooth printer, or to control an NFC, or to control anything like some GPS. No, GPS is not a good example, but it's because this is stock. This is inside the thing. But let's say a very specific hardware you would like to control, then you will need a native plugin to do this, okay? So in this case, we work with the Cordova plugin library. There's more than 6,000 packages you can find on the Cordova ecosystem. And this, you will be able to integrate this all in the platform. So there is no limit of what you can do. And you know what? If a plugin does not exist, well, create it, okay? Well, that's all. You're a developer, right? So you can write, okay? So in this case, you will be glad to write some native codes, okay? Not Dart in this case. It will be it will be probably Kotlin or Swift for the iOS ecosystems. Okay, so this is something there. Okay, so file transfer, you have many things there, but you're not obliged to do many plugins like that. I would like to show you another demo. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. Yeah, so you know this demo. Okay, so as you see, nothing to performance, okay, 3D, rendering, everything. So just let you know, this is just something very standard based on WebGL. And you see there's no performance drawbacks. And so this is just a component that has been integrated into the platform. We did not write it, okay? It comes directly from the platform. Well, this component is based on 3GS, you know 3GS? Okay, this just a component that been. So for example, this is an example of component that is not in the low-code ecosystem, that was completely inside the platform, okay? Okay, so we're getting close to the end of this presentation. Let me go next to this. Okay. So the plugins, we talked about it. Now, security. People speak about security. Hey, if I'm doing a local platform, am I secure or not? This is the question. Is it more secure or less secure than a standard application? What's your opinion? Especially for a full stack platform where you expose services on the backend side. It's the same. Yes, it is the same. So first thing is, if you use a local platform and you use it like nonsense, then you make security holes, of course. Okay, that's sure, of course. So you have to be cautious about security. For example, in Convertigo platform, when you make a service, you can expose it to be anonymous, so we don't need authentication to access it, or you can configure it to be authenticated. So of course, don't expose valuable data as anonymous type of services, okay? So just as a tick, you have to say yes, okay? If you forget to say yes, then, well, that's your fault, okay? We cannot do this. But there's many things that the platform will do for you. First, for example, many components of the platforms are open source, and many other components have security drawbacks. They have CVEs, okay? So that's important that you know exactly what are the vulnerability of the platform. So just to let you know, on Convertigo, everything there, you can have the scan of Convertigo, and you see that, yes, there is one vulnerability that is today on the platform today. You know it, and it's there. And we did the job for you. The platform did the job for you. If not, you need to do the job yourself for each project you do, okay? Now, this is that the platform has done it automatically for you, okay? So again, saving time, saving money, and go faster to market, and raise the hourly rate. That's the goal. Okay, don't forget that. So, for example, all the security scans, you can see it public. Okay, this is really important. Any questions about security?
What about the scan of your code vulnerability?
Okay, so all these are scanned automatically. Yeah, yeah. Okay, they're all scanned. Okay, so this. Yes. Well, now what's happening is that we're going to make the upgrade of all the modules when the CVE comes. Okay, so instead of upgrading the platform itself, we upgrade what we call a template. Okay, so when you create a project, it will be based on the template. The template defines all the subcomponents that you use in the platform. Okay, so so we want to upgrade this. For example, just to know that now we upgraded to Angular 17. This is one of the latest Angular technology. So it's Angular 17 now, okay? So if there's a CVE command on Angular 17, we're going to upgrade it on the template. But you are responsible to reuse this new template. Of course, we will not do it for you, okay? You will have to use the new template. Okay, so this is one thing. Another question about low-code is vendor-lockin. Who knows what vendor-lockin is? You cannot quit Convertigo. Can you quit Dart? Can you quit Dart? How can you quit Dart? Okay. You will quit Google, but not Dart, because it's open source. Right? Okay. So the question is, can you quit the mother company or can you quit the technology? This is the question. So can you quit Flutterflow? You can export it to Flutter. And if you quit Flutterflow, will you be able to edit your code using the Flutterflow type of studio or not? If you quit Flutterflow, if you don't pay any more licenses from Flutterflow, can we use the Flutterflow studio to make modifications to your project? But you have to you have to handle the generated code, right? Yes, okay, good. I will tell you what's happening with Convertigo, about quitting Convertigo. You can quit Convertigo, like exactly you quit Flutter, because Convertigo is open source. We are one of the only few open sources platform on the market today. So yes, you can quit Convertigo. You can quit the mother company. You can quit us. You will not quit the technology, exactly like Flutter, okay? But you can quit us, and you can, of course, see all Convertigo on the GitHub. So there's nothing, no magic there. So just to let you know that, okay, there's, okay. I have to find a GitHub. Okay, here it is, Convertigo GitHub. This is all public. You can see everything, how it's done. No hidden code. Oh, there has a big commit into the Convertigo repo 3 hours ago. Okay, so it's public. Everything you have in the platform is public here. So exactly like Dart, you can quit exactly the same way. But even better, in our licensing model, you can still use the studios. You can still author your project, even though you don't pay licenses to us anymore. Okay, not like Flutterflow. Flutterflow, you need to pay license to be able to go and modify the project. With us, you can still go and modify your project without us. Okay, so Convertigo is definitely not vendor-lockin. Okay, this is really important. Vendor-lockin is a very big drawback for local platforms, because if you use a local platform that locks you in, then jail, prison. Okay? So this is something very important. When you do projects, always think about this. So just to let you know, Flutterflow is a very good also platform, because as you can export to the outside world, you know that you can take the effect. But think about authoring. Think about modification and maintenance. Flutterflow cannot do this. This is one difference with Convertigo and Flutterflow, just to let you know. Okay? So open source is the key for that. So we made a little graphic here to explain where you should use low code and no code, and standard coding, sorry. This is what we think, okay? So I think we cannot use low code for doing LLMs. No. No. Don't do this. You can use LLMs from low code technology, but don't build an LLM engine with zero code, okay? It's useless, okay? You will just lay time. Many gaming apps also, probably low code is not the best to do this. Depends on the game. As you see, we still have some good animations, 3D or whatsoever, but probably better use Unify or Unity. Sorry, that's much better for doing this. Okay. Everything else, use low code. No restrictions. Please do it. No problem. Everything else. So, how many applications are you doing in this space here? 80%, Rudy? How much the application do you deal today? 80. Yeah. Do you do this type of applications today in your company? Not so much. Do you do this types? Yes, some probably yes, a little bit. Not so much. Yeah. Do you use LLMs? Yes. Okay. Okay, so so the question is, well, use low code. You go faster, you get the same benefits, you get the same quality, you have the same performance, you have the same security. Just save time. Go further. That's no drawbacks, no compromise. Yep. Okay, this is very interesting. Yeah. So about the test approaching, everything about the backend systems, so it depends of the platforms, okay? But if I speak about Convertigo, everything from services and backend systems have automatic backend testing capabilities in the platform. So we call this test case. So each service, you define the inputs of the service and outputs, and then you can run tests and see that everything is okay for that, okay? So this is for the backend services. For the front-end services, well, in this case, as we generate and we make a very standard, let's say, Angular app, well, everything you know about testing Angular apps works with us, okay? There's nothing there. So I don't know what you use as the technology, so you can use, well, you know these guys, they're from Nantes, Mr. Suricat, they're from Nantes. So you can use Mr. Suricat on our thing, yeah, it's no problem, works fine. Yeah. So again, front end is tested by standard stuff, first standard stuff. It's standard code, so you definitely test this, or you can use this using Selenium or whatsoever testing tool you use. What you use as tools usually in your company? Testing tool. Just mean Angular, yeah, sure. Yeah, ETUI, you can use this, okay, that's okay. But the point is, to test, usually, you like to have nice anchors to the front end. So class names or class IDs that are unique, to make this testing. So the platform about Convertigo will generate you automatically always unique IDs for that. So it's easier to test than if you do it by hand. That's quite easier, yeah. What about AI? Who uses AI to develop? Who's using AI? Are you an AI developer? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Please use. Like everybody, now Convertigo is completely interfaces with Copilot. Okay, so you have Copilot there. So when you have some code to write, sometimes you have, well, use Copilot. Why bother you? Okay, just check that they do not write nonsense, because sometimes it writes nonsense, but you can use Copilot, okay? That's, of course, yeah. Again, AI will not kill low code. AI is just making low code even more efficient. This is something there we can speak about. Okay, so this is one idea of what we can do with the technology there. I don't know if I have another slide. I think we're getting out of time, but this is the end of the presentation. So if you have 4 more minutes just for question and answers, so I will be glad to answer. Yeah, please. Yeah. Well, it depends on the platform, okay? So each platform has tutorials or whatsoever. So if you start with Flutterflow, then there's many tutorials, I think, okay? If you start with us, then you will have tutorials that you have in the platform here. So these are the tutorials you can find into the platform. Just to let you know that it's completely integrated. So you go open to tutorial view, then inside the studio, we'll have all the tutorials there, so you can use them, okay? So it's in English. Okay, you can change this to English. Okay, so you follow the tutorials, and then usually about 6-hour work, 6 hours. You will be not an expert, but you will understand definitely how this works. Yeah. Well, if you use Convertigo, everything is in the platform. Everything for the database and the services and everything. You don't need any other tools. You don't need. Other platforms you need. So, for example, if you use Flutterflow, then you need a backend tool. Or you write your backend by hand, Node.js, Java, PHP, I don't know. Or you use it as some local tools that are on the market. So, for example, Xano or whatsoever, Supabase or whatsoever. You need 2 tools for Webflow, for Flutterflow. With Convertigo, you don't need other tools. It's all integrated. You have all the backends inside the platform integrated, okay? So this is something that differs us from the Flutterflow type platform. Yeah. And then something else. Yes. Yes. As you know, Convertigo is based on a container Docker type of container architecture. So we can scale up pods to the infinity. So if you master your own deployments, so we run this on a Kubernetes farm. So you can detach the database from the front ends. Yes, you can do this. Yes, yeah. Of course, our hosting is automatically. We do this for you. But if you want to host this on-prem, then you will have to do the work, of course. But you can do it, yes. This is just Docker type of technology. You can scale up to millions. Yep.
I think I have a different profile than other people in this room. I'm rather a designer
Yeah.
than a developer, and I'm wondering how to implement
let's say Figma design and just put it, yeah. So follow tutorial 5. That's so again, so you can do your design in Figma, okay? Now, when you do this in Figma, then there is some way to export the CSS you did with Figma, and you import them in Convertigo, okay? So that's something. But the design itself, the layout or whatsoever, you will have to redesign it in Convertigo, but it's visual. It's quite visual. It's quite visual. There's some plugins that we find in Figma today, not especially Figma to HTML. You know this plugin in there. There's another plugin, you know, in Figma. It is called Figma to Webflow, not to Flutterflow, but to Webflow. Do you know this plugin there, where you can export directly to Webflow some Figma designs? Well, this is good. The problem about this is that you have to master the automatic layout of Figma. Do you use the auto layout of Figma? Are you an expert in auto layout or not? You are. Okay, in this case, you can use the Cypher plugins, okay? The problem about Figma is people don't master this auto layout stuff, okay? Because this is complex to understand. You need some, not development skills, but you need to understand what is exactly, well, you need to basically to understand layouts of CSS to know how this works, okay? And many Figma designers just don't master this, okay? So, you know, they're still designing screens with 320 pixels, and then they make it like this. They don't know how to do responsive Figma, okay? But I think then when people will know how to master responsive Figma, we will definitely write our own Figma to Convertigo export plugin. For the moment, we think it's useless because each time I talk to Figma designers that don't know anything about auto layouts. For the moment, we'll see. That's in the plans, yeah. Yeah, shall I? Yeah. Yes, type of, yeah. It's not exactly Flexbox properties, but it's using exactly the same type of layout systems about the 12, let's say type of bootstrap, you know, 12 columns and automatic layouts and everything, yes, type of, yes. Yes, yeah. Mm. So everything about responsivity is automatically based on the framework behind. We call this the grid system of Convertigo, grids. You have a grid with rows, and inside the row columns, and each column will take from 1 to 12 slots, you know, as usually. And if it's constraints, then you can say, hey, this column on a mobile will take only 6 slots, or 3 slots, or even the 12 slots. So that means you have a column layout, yeah. That's the way it works. Okay, bah voilà.